Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today for another Inspire Create Challenge Day. And today we have got a colour challenge, and the colours are Pretty Peacock, Early Espresso and Flirty Flamingo. Now, I like that as a colour combination. I have to say it did take me a little while to get my head around it, but I'm there. And I am using the Power of Hope bundle, which is one of the level 2 items in the current sale-a-bration catalogue. Oh, there's a sneak peek. So for every £45 you spend in my online store before postage and packing, and there's a link to my store in the description bar below, you get to choose one level 1 item. And the level 1 items are denoted by this rich raspberry icon. If you spend £90 or more in one order, then you get to choose a level 2 item, and this is one of those level 2 items. And it's the stamp set, but it's also the 3D embossing folder, which is gorgeous. I was not sure about it, but it's really good. It's called the Stone 3D embossing folder, and when you emboss with it, oh wow, yes, you'll see that in a minute. So this is the stamp set and embossing folder bundle that I'm using. Really nice photos. They're kind of sketch, which is really great for just some quick cards. So you already had a sneak peek at what I've made. I've used the Flirty Flamingo designer series paper from the designer series, from the Colour Family packs in the annual catalogue. They're one of the items that I think go really quite unnoticed. So let me find them for you. So they are here on page 168 of the annual catalogue. They come in every colour family, so you can get them in the design, in colours, and in each of the colour families. So really nice little stack to get. Now, do remember, if you don't already subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can do so by clicking down there. If you like the video, then please do give it a thumbs up as we go along. And also remember that you can buy any of these items from my online store if you're in the UK, and there is a link to that in the description bar below, as there is to the web blog post for this card, and it takes you straight over to that. So what have I done and what have I used? As I say, we've got Pretty Peacock, Early Espresso and Flirty Flamingo as our colours. So this is the card. This is what I mean by that 3D embossing folder. You'll probably see it better when I make the second card that I'm making. So let me grab all the bits that I need, she says, having not grabbed an Early Espresso background. So I have got an Early Espresso mat, a white mat to go into my card. Apparently I've got 2 white mats to go into my card. I've got a scrap of Whisper White. I've already die cut a piece of copper foil using the layering ovals, and then I'll be die cutting the image from that. This is the Stone 3D embossing folder. I inked the folder, so it's bringing out all the indentations. So this is what I think of as the front, and this is the back. So both sides are really pretty, but I do like inking my embossing folder and then running it through the die cutter. It just makes a really nice image. The dimensions, which I had written down. Where have I buried my, damn it? There they are. No point in writing things down and then hiding your book, really, is there? So all of these are cut to 3 3/4 inch. No, they're not. All of these are cut to, yes, 3 3/4 inches wide. The embossed piece is then cut down to 2 inches tall, and then the designer series paper are 1 5/8, and that way you get the nice dimensions. The dimensions certainly for A4 will be over on my blog post. I will try and work out the dimensions for North American letter size, but bear with me. because I have to go into a whole other realm. Okay, so first thing is to do the the heat embossing. So Versamark and my lovely lady, my geisha, or my Japanese lady. I don't know whether she's just a Japanese lady or a geisha. Not being the same thing, and I don't know, you know, I'm not an expert in Japanese dress, so Versamarking onto my Whisper White card, and then into my copper embossing powder. And if you've joined me before, you know that I like to put my pieces through the embossing powder certainly twice. Sometimes I do more, and then I have a dry brush just in case I've got any little bits that are in the wrong place. So that is going to then be put under my trusty cheese board, and grab my heat tool. Don't need that now. And blast. So yes, do remember you can buy any of these items in my online store. You can also join my team if you want to get the best deal out of sale-a-bration. You get the joining package, which is £99 for £130 of product, or €129 for, I want to say €179 of product. €175 of product, apologies. And you also get to choose a free stamp set, and you get the mini trimmer and the sampler pack of designer series paper. I did a video on Sunday all about that, so if you want more information, do go and have a look. Okay, so I want to do some colouring. So I've got my ink pads ready to go, and my aqua painter. I've also got a cloth, and all I'm going to do is pick up a small amount of the ink with my aqua painter, and then just add it to my stamped image, and then just drag it where you want it. Don't get too carried away with too much water on Whisper White, because it doesn't like it terribly much, but a little bit is fine. It will actually absorb quite nicely. Just don't go too mad. There we go, and then clean my aqua painter off on my cloth. Close that for the moment. I will be needing it again, but for the moment I can close it up. And then we'll do some hair with the early espresso. So I'll just do, far too much water. I shall be grabbing a piece of kitchen paper. Bear with me one moment while I just reach across to get a tiny bit of kitchen paper, just to absorb some of the extra water that came out there. That's better. Don't need that anymore. And then the final colour is obviously the Flirty Flamingo, and just make sure that's clean, and it is, and then just add this on. And I'm kind of starting on in the middle on this and dragging out, so if there is any shading it will be darker in the middle. And just try and avoid painting her face bright pink, because that would not be an attractive look. It would show that her umbrella has not worked and she has got very, very bad sunburn. Okay, so that's that. Pop the lid on my aqua painter, and I'm just going to grab my heat tool and put it on the first setting just to dry the ink. And the reason I'm doing that is I learnt the hard way that even though it looks dry, it may not be. And I ended up smudging my first one and had to give it a little bit of care and attention with my sand rubber. Okay, so that then just needs to be run through the die cutting machine. And I'm using the layering oval that is slightly smaller than the scalloped oval. but it is literally just going to peek out. It's not going to be, there's not going to be a lot of copper showing. So there we go. And don't need that. So let's add this to our copper, and I'm just going to use a bit of liquid adhesive, just a squiggle down the middle, and then it will be able to dry while I do everything else. And just be careful at this stage to avoid pressing with your fingers onto your coloured image. Do it from the back. Again, if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm a great fan of pressing things down from the back. Okay, so that's that. Don't need the embossing, the die. Don't need, oh, I do need that, but not just yet. So let's finish our stamping. I've got Hope is the power that makes all things possible. That I am going to stamp in Pretty Peacock. So that goes just there. And you'll notice that I do keep my stamp down for a bit so that it's got a chance to transfer the ink. And then I've got the tree, which I'm going to stamp off and then just add half on, half off in the bottom right hand corner. And then we can close up that and pop those to one side to clean. And then I just need to make my card up. So I have got somewhere buried a piece of Pretty Peacock card, which I've scored in the middle long ways. I like my long ways cards, but you can do them anyway, so long as they, you know, you can do short fat. Then this, I am going to add, again, some liquid adhesive. I don't usually add liquid adhesive to designer series paper, but because I've got, no, that's wrong. I don't always add liquid adhesive to designer series paper, but because I want to make sure that everything is in the right place, it just gives me that little bit of wiggle room. So I'm going to do the top and then the bottom, and then I can line up the embossed piece in the middle. Now do remember, if you've got any questions or comments, I'm very pleased when people leave comments, either here or over on my website. I do try and like and reply. And if you've got questions, it's a great way of asking me a question. You never know, someone else might be asking the same question, but just hadn't got round to it, or would like to ask the same question. Okay, so again, turn over, press from the back. And then the only other thing I need to add is I've got some of the Pretty Peacock ribbon, which is from the annual catalogue as well. And it's got the linen in the middle and then the Pretty Peacock either side, scalloped. Really pretty. And I thought I'd do a bit of tone on tone. So a bit of tear and tape at either end. And just press that down well and peel off. If you have problems peeling the backing off your tear and tape, I would encourage you to press it down better or more, because that helps it release the release paper, if that makes sense. Helps release the release paper. Sort of makes sense. Right, so that's that. I want some dimensionals, which are here, and pop my lady up. And I'm using a few purely because we've got the ribbon in the way. I wouldn't normally use this many, but I want more than just two. So if I was just sticking this on, I'd probably just use four, one on each end and one on each side. But as I say, with the ribbon where it is, I want these to straddle the ribbon, not go on it. And then pop that to one side. And again, I'm going to be careful not to press on my coloured image. Then we can pop everything together and we're jolly nearly there. Okay, so pop that down and again press from the back, and then while we're here we can add our liner. And whoops. There we go. And there, oh no, I've got one more thing I want to add. I was about to say, there we are. I want to add some of these champagne rhinestones. These are from the Parisian suite in the new catalogue, but they have that nice kind of slightly pink tone for copper. So really, really good to go with copper. And one up there, and then this one I'm going to pop just there. I think I put the previous one below, but anyway, there we go. Now I can say we're finished. So there we go. This is the one that I made before, and this is the one we've made together. Have a go at some of these colour challenges. Have a go at any of the challenges, but the colour challenges are great because it basically means you can do whatever you want so long as you keep to the colours. And it's a really good way of trying out different colour combinations. The other members of the design team have made some amazing projects yet again. I always feel as if I'm trying to play catch up, but hey, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want any of the products, you can shop those in my online store, which are linked below. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Thank you very much indeed, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!